back. WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. If it were early in the morning, I'd probably have my coal roofing mug and talk about my Rofo coffee being in there, and a nod to my friend Bill Cole, who came on this week, and we talked about, of all things, guns and violence and crime in the cities. We're stretching things out around here, but in the journey of my wife's leukemia battle and having There Goes My Hero on, Bill Cole said to me, you should have more guests on to talk about that There Goes My Hero thing and other charities, which really begat Baltimore Positive, and Don Moeller and I doing all this stuff. And along the journey, I met Burton Daniel a couple years ago, and the pandemic got in the way, and he was telling a story about swabbing and Hero. And been a couple of years since we've been out in full force getting together with Michelle Bresnick-Walsh and with Eric Sauer. And I said, you know what? It's time we do a There Goes My Hero little segment, and my wife could come in and give her story. Her story's great and awesome. She's doing great. People keep asking. I think she's going to get her 5-year exit strategy at some point later on this week, so we're crossing our fingers on that. But Burton Daniel met me at a There Goes My Hero event about 2 years ago, had an unbelievably compelling story, and I thought, you know what? We'll invite him on to talk about something other than money, which he does all day. What's going on, Burton? How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I know we all find these charities in different ways. I mean, obviously, I found Eric Sauer at my wife's bedside. I think it was on April 1st back in 2014. I fell in with Hero, did a swabbing tour all over the country, did 30 ballparks in 30 days. We still try to do as much as we can, contributed with the golf tournament and Bruce Chris and lots of different ways. I've done 2 major events with Super Bowl winning head coaches and all that stuff. Everybody comes at this a different way and a different time. I want you to give your story about how you became involved with There Goes My Hero.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to share my story. My story is one that I think is rather unique in that I stumbled upon Hero at a food truck gathering. They had a table set up. They were doing swabs. They were looking to add people at the registry. And
do you remember if you ordered a burrito or a taco?
I'm sure it was a taco.
Okay.
If I know myself,
Little
it was
food truck
undoubtedly
thing.
a taco.
Absolutely.
This was about 2014. I was in a big taco phase at that time. So undoubtedly a taco.
It was 2014. My wife was fighting for her life. So even more incredible that you were at a food truck.
Yeah. And it was very fortuitous. I had had some business interactions with Eric Sauer, the founder of Hero. So I was aware of the organization. I was aware of his story. So when I saw a table and I saw an opportunity to take a swab, I did. And I really didn't think much about it. And then 4 years later, I get a call that I had matched with someone. And in that moment, I called my wife. I let her know that I had just matched. And to her credit, she said, yeah, of course you're going to do it. There wasn't even a hesitation in her mind. And with that, I started the process to donate my bone marrow to, at the time, a stranger. I didn't know much about him. I knew he was a 51-year-old male somewhere in the US. And 2 years ago, January 28th of this year, would have been 2 years ago, I made the donation at Georgetown Hospital, had the procedure where they actually did surgery, removed the marrow from my back hip. Came out of surgery and really just waited. And then a year later, got contact information for my recipient. And he and I have developed a beautiful friendship from this.
Oh, you found your recipient. When I met you, you had not found your recipient.
Yeah. So I had not been put in touch with him yet when we first met. Since then, we've been in contact. We've Zoomed over the pandemic. We've developed a great friendship.
But you haven't been in the same room yet.
We have not. My hope is he's actually a Kansas City fan. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Well, look at this.
And so we're trying to orchestrate. I'd love for him to come to Baltimore for that game.
Dude, when I called you, I had no idea that this story even existed. Because I remember when I met you, you had said you had donated, but you were unsure of the outcome.
Yeah. And so at that time, I didn't know if it was successful.
So you kept this guy alive long enough for the Chiefs to win and lose a Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. He has been on a roller coaster of emotion in so many ways, certainly from the Kansas City Chiefs as well. But, to your point,
I knew there was a reason I was having you on the show today. I just didn't know what the hell it was. So,
well, there
saving people's lives. Who knew, huh? Right?
Well, and it's amazing, people kind of throw that out there, and there were so many people involved in the process. I was very fortunate to play my role and to be able to help this person. He got to meet his first grandchild that year. Things like that that really bring home what organizations like There Goes My Hero do for the community. But when you see it on an individual basis, when I saw how I was able to impact this person's lives and his family, it's just incredible. So I recently joined the board of Hero, and I'm just looking forward to sharing my story and help encouraging more and more people not only to do the swab and sign up, but when their name's called, when they match, to not even hesitate the same way my wife and I didn't hesitate to take that on as a family.
Well, I could sit here and cry a river and tell our whole story. Our story's pretty well worn, but it is really a gift and a blessing on a daily basis. My wife and I went away for her birthday last week, and we're literally on a beach doing things we could not do a year ago, and the phone rings, and it's her donor.
Oh, wow.
And I hear his German voice, is it safe to FaceTime now? And she's like, no, I can't FaceTime with you now. I'm going through customs. Leave me alone, And I'm like, hey man, he kept you alive, we better hit him back at some point, But
Yeah.
no, he's a great guy. He's over in Germany. And obviously we missed his wedding. He had two weddings because in Germany you kind of have like a civil and then a party. And they were both during the pandemic last year. So we haven't been with him. I mean, in other parts of the world, as you know, like just getting the shots, like not we got people turning down shots here, fools. But
Right.
in other places, they're waiting in line so that they can have the ability to connect again. Burton Daniel's here. There goes my hero, saving lives. And so the Kansas City. So you're thinking football here in September that may be happening.
I'm hoping. If you know anyone in the PR group of Baltimore Ravens, I think we've got a great opportunity to do some good here. If I can get him to come, and if nothing else, I'm just looking forward to meeting him in person, giving him a big hug, and meeting his family.
I think we can figure this out, Burton. I think I know a guy. Oh, I am that guy. I would say for Hero and for what they do and for swabbing and again, I'm doing this crab cake tour that I'm hoping to somehow, envelope, get more people involved in it. I mean, I stood in not 30 ballparks. I went to 30 ballparks 30 days. I stood in about 18 of them and we swabbed. And my friend Mike Resigliano made this giant stick with a big Q-tip on top of it that I held up in every ballpark that they let me.
Very cool.
Geddy Lee actually held it, and Alex Lyson at Rush to kick the tour off, which was great. But I would go out in Houston, Texas. I would go out in Tampa, Florida, Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm trying to think of the places I actually held the stick up. And like Arizona, big time Arizona, Phoenix, walked around the concourse of the dome there on a 130-degree day, swabbing in the middle of July, and had so much I guess you could touch people then and you could hug people then. It was before the pandemic, so it was 15. But so many stories of people that are like, what are you doing? I had people spit at me. I had people make fun of me. I had people say drunken things, like all of the above. But then I'd have somebody say, some guy named Burton saved my life. I'm a donor, or hey, I was a donor, or my nephew had their life saved, or hey, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to swab. I've seen it on TV. Nobody's giving me a chance. I said, well, come on over. Here's the form. It takes 2 minutes. How many swabs I've stuck in people's mouths personally, while my wife, while she was next to me the first time, then she almost died again the second time, and it came back, and her donor saved her life twice in the same way that you have your story. But the humanity of all of this, that I'm sure in 2013, 14, you hadn't thought much of it. I didn't know what bone marrow transplant was. I mean, leukemia was something I saw on TV with Brian's song and in movies and stuff like that. And I thought you died from it. I didn't realize what a bone marrow transplant was. And all of it was a whirlwind of information, for us. And I think from a donor standpoint and just educating people and doing segments like this, which I haven't done in a while, that just say, hey, if you haven't been swabbed, you haven't had the Q-tip in your mouth, now's the time to do this, right?
Absolutely. And I think the message I can deliver, having been through this and been through the surgery component of the donation, which is the most invasive, the most painful, it's perceived as probably the greatest hindrance from people actually going through the donation process. I've done it. I would do it 1,000 times more. Whatever pain or inconvenience that came from the surgery, I've gotten far greater return to me than I gave.
You're in the
through this
ROI
process.
business too, right?
I am indeed. And ultimately, for me, it changed my life. So, whether I saved his life in collaboration with many other people, which absolutely is the case.
Well, that's the other thing too. How many doctors, how many nurses, the people that took your blood, the people that got it there, the people that got it, like it
the science is
blows my
mind-blowing.
mind that she's sitting in the other room working on some engineering project that's frustrating the hell out of her right now.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely incredible. And the science has come so far. It continues to evolve. And, just the idea that this person who was a stranger in Kansas City, if you take his blood, his DNA is my DNA.
All right, so here's the deal. When this Kansas City fella who's my age apparently comes along, we're gonna bring him in here in September, right? Because the game's like the 20th, 19th, whatever it is, right? Like somewhere in there.
I believe it's the 19th.
Yeah, it's right after the Vegas game, right? So week 2. So we'll figure we'll figure all that out. They'll sit with us. You'll sit with us for the game, but what we need to do is this person needs to bring me, write this down, Jack Stack Barbecue. All right, I need the cheesy corn.
Okay.
And the broccoli crowns, and don't forget the baked beans, whatever they do, and whatever the dessert is, the brownies, bring those with them too. Burton Daniel is here. My friend from There Goes My Hero. He wheels and deals in money in his real life and wheels and deals in humanity on the rest of the time, helping folks out at There Goes My Hero. It's been a tough year for charity, like everywhere, right? Like you're the kind of guy trying to wheel people together to write checks, bring together money. Obviously, your own story, and we've all been at this for a long time, and in lots of different ways, whether it's Living Classrooms, who's one of our partners. We talk about so many great causes. We had John Hoey on from the Y a couple of weeks ago. That's just off the top of my head. But the hero thing hit me instantly with Eric and Michelle and their story. I'll let you tell their story because I know it pretty well and know them pretty well as miracles that begat my wife. Michelle Bresnick-Walsh took Saturdays off during all of my wife's battle on her day off after she battled for her life to come back to Hopkins where she fought for her life to sit in my wife's bed in darkness and coach my wife. So these are special people.
No question about it. And everyone associated with the organization, being a new board member, I've gotten to know many of them here of late. Just incredible people. They've either survived leukemia themselves or a family member has been deeply impacted by it and they've come out the other side. And they're committed and devoted to helping those in the same situation. Alleviate some of the day-to-day anxiety and pressures that come from going to the hospital every day and the defraying costs for people going through that treatment. And that's
the
just
people that were in the room to the left of my wife and the right of my wife and down the hall from my wife. We saw it every day.
Yeah. And it's a terrible, terrible disease, but the beauty is the science is there. We need more people to sign up for the registry. We need more people to donate when the time comes. And at the end of the day, I think COVID has taught us we got to look out for each other. You had to wear a mask to not just protect yourself, but other people. And Hero's mission is to help those that need it when they're faced with one of the greatest health challenges people face in their life. And I'm just honored to be a part of it, share my story. So I really appreciate you giving us a platform. And I look forward to continuing to tell my story.
Hopefully there's going to be golf involved in here, more miracles. We're going to meet your dude. You're going to meet our dude. This whole pandemic thing's been very inconvenient. We had plans for safaris and northern lights and all this stuff. And now it's just like let's get him a shot and keep our passport up to date and figure this thing out and figure out how we put the economy back together. Burton Daniel here on behalf of There Goes My Hero. At some point I have threatened the great Edie Brown, who was Zooming with Dave Grohl the other day, that we're going to get Dave Grohl involved here. I'm going to pull out I'm growing my hair so he'll have some respect for me.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so we need to work a foo angle on this. So give me time on that. We'll work on the Kansas City Miracle, because I do miracles. What I do when I'm not doing radio, when I'm not doing Baltimore Positive, I try to work on miracles. So let's get your dude in here. Fully healthy, your guy, good?
Yeah. He's 2 years out, leukemia, 100% clear of the leukemia. He's dealing with some other health issues right now that we're hoping he's going to get through. That's
now
one
you
of the
do
unknowns.
know if he does any criminal acts, you get blamed for it. Same blood, right? Same DNA.
I'm familiar with that. Luckily, he's a great guy, so I don't have to worry about that.
Well, my wife, a little dodgy. She always reminds Niels, there's a crime in America. You did it, pal.
There you go. I love it.
Burton Daniel joining us here on behalf of There Goes My Hero. You can go to theregoesmyhero.org. They drink wine. They do polo. They play golf. They drink more wine. They eat food. They raise money, and they take care of each other. They took care of my wife. We appreciate it. Burton, we'll see you soon, all right? Hopefully soon. Mask off. I got new glasses coming. I got shirts I want to wear out. I got new deodorant. I got a new hairstyle. I'm ready to go out and network again. How about that?
Sounds good to me. I'm right there with you.
We'll press some flesh soon, brother, all right?
All right. Sounds good.
Burton Daniel on behalf of There Goes My Hero joining us here. Please support our friends at There Goes My Hero. And if that story doesn't make you want to support it, I don't know. Your soul's 2 sizes too small. That's all I'll say. Go listen to the Grinches over 105.7. You can find me, Ness at BaltimorePositive.com, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat. Anywhere we are, easy to find at BaltimorePositive.com.